Hi and welcome to day 78 of retiring and caring for my parents as an only child. A part of caring for my parents is helping mom build healthy sleep habits so both my parents can sleep well and be healthy. Honestly, if one parent doesn't get good sleep or any sleep at all, the other gets negatively impacted too. I've touched on 3 sleep strategies and 3 things to do in the final hour before bedtime to promote sleep, and one involved decreasing light exposure. While this tip is nighttime and sleep specific, strong sunlight in the day affects my mom too. Nothing got to do with sleep, but she understands excessive sunlight exposure contributes to premature aging and possibly skin cancer, which is why my dad has random cloths covering the windows. Functional but not very aesthetically pleasing, which I was gonna fix. Introducing no glue window films. You can do full blackout, but that'd be a problem because my homebound mom might just not be able to tell day from night. So mom got the one which filtered the most light, but she could still see out the windows. The process was quite tedious. I was having a headache while cleaning the windows, cutting the film to size, spraying soapy water to help the film stick and smoothing it out. My mom was really happy with how the film helped filter out a lot of the sun. But since I'm not a professional work woman, I found my parents layering those same cloths I happily removed from the windows days later. There were 1 or 2 narrow spots where sunlight could still shine through and mom wanted them completely covered. Moral of the story, if you want to stick a film on your windows, be prepared. This is not going to be a fast job, especially if you want to do a good job, no air bubbles and all. So this touch-up sounds like a job for another day. Hi and welcome to day 79 of retiring and caring for my parents as an only child. I'm an avid tracker. I track everything from finance, warranties, habits, health, time to more recently calories and my energy level. Maybe it's a sense of control I need, but having experienced the immense benefits of tracking, such as mindful eating and being able to understand and improve various aspects of my life, I had to get my mom started with tracking. Of course, not just any kind of tracking. Accumulating data without a purpose is a waste of time. Knowing she has frequent headaches, I told her to keep track of when they occur. In a previous video, I spoke about how headaches could potentially be a warning sign of a more serious problem. This would hopefully get her more in tune with her body, one symptom at a time. She complains frequently about various bodily ailments, and we tend not to think too much of them since they happen very often. But I don't want to regret missing a warning sign or symptom of a severe condition just because I thought nothing of it. While I had to remind her to track it since she's not made this a habit yet, I hope she's able to take greater responsibility for her health and her life one small step at a time. Hi and welcome to day 80 of retiring and caring for my parents as an only child. Knowing my goal of wanting to retire my parents, I attended a finance event about the sandwich generation and how we can navigate caring for our parents while raising a family of our own. While I'm not fully sandwiched yet, I want to learn from others before my time comes. I loved how people shared similar challenges that I could relate to. Attendees were also concerned about their parents' financial literacy, and some became their family's wealth managers. There were live tutorials showing various tools and data we could check out within the app of the brokerage. Apart from that, these are 2 of my takeaways. Siblings or family members can lend money to one another, but we can implement a system of paying back with interest. Teaching the future generation how to make money work harder for you. On the same topic of education, taking the kids along for investing and finance classes to get them exposed to investing. This isn't the end of my event attending shenanigans. Check out my next video where I'd share more about where else I've been and what I've learned. Hi and welcome to day 81 of retiring and caring for my parents as an only child. I've been attending a few events lately to learn how to more quickly retire and better care for my parents. One of them is this health event at Canberra CC. There were health talks regarding skin and eye health challenges as one ages, a comprehensive eye check, and various booths where you could get your height, weight, and blood pressure checked. I planned to go for this with mom, but since it would be inconvenient for her, I decided to go by myself. I got my eyes checked and I totally didn't expect the news I would be getting. I'd share more in my next video along with what I learned. While I enjoyed all the booths, 2 booths stood out to me, one where we could try age suits to feel the effects of aging. I didn't get to try the entire suit, but just the weights on my wrists. Another would be the sleep booth where I learned people could do sleep studies to improve the quality of their sleep. Apparently, this setup wouldn't influence your sleep and the data collected. After partaking in all the activities, the reward was a goodie bag, which obviously I gifted my parents, so everyone's happy and hopefully this encourages them to come along should there be future beneficial events like these. Hi and welcome to day 82 of retiring and caring for my parents as an only child. I attended a health event recently to learn more about how to care for my parents better, looking more into their eye conditions, mom's itchy skin, and sleep issue. I'd share my 3 takeaways, and number 3 did surprise me as I was only made aware of its importance from this event. But before that, let me share the results of the comprehensive comprehensive eye screening I did, I found out that I had higher than normal eye pressure, which is a risk factor for glaucoma, plus truly a big shock for me. To think I'm just doing an eye check for the sake of it. A quick Google search shows caffeine and stress can raise eye pressure, so can eye injuries, genetics, and certain medications. The first two causes are more probable for me, although I limit my caffeine intake to half or 1 cup a day, so I doubt it's a big factor. The eye health talk came at a good time because the doctor shared more about glaucoma and good eye care habits. Good eye hygiene looks very similar to good lifestyle habits like not smoking, exercising regularly, and these specifically would be helpful for our eyes. Wearing sunglasses when outdoors, so you bet I'm carrying my sunglasses everywhere now. I used to think people wear them to look cool. Eating more dark green leafy vegetables, fish and seafood, fruits, and nuts. Checking our eyes regularly as there's no cure for glaucoma and the aim of treatment is simply to lower the eye pressure. I do what I can for now, and I've scheduled a follow-up date 1 year later to check my eyes again, and hopefully by then I'd have a normal eye pressure. Take this as a sign to get your eyes and your parents' eyes checked. Hi and welcome to day 83 of retiring and caring for my parents as an only child. Do you have a parent who goes on a monologue and can talk for hours on end and you only get to say, yes, intermittently? Or worse still, they sometimes say things that can be hurtful or triggering, taking the conversations from a 0 to 100. I had a friend who shared how she had a dispute with her mom over how they didn't have a proper bin in the house, and the mother then went on to complain about how she didn't like the state of the house, which escalated to how she didn't even want to have kids to begin with. Yes, 0 to 100. While I try to be a filial child to my parents, I don't have a perfect relationship with my parents. In fact, far from it. When it comes to certain conversations with my mom that somehow become difficult, here's how I'm trying to manage them. See her truth rather than the truth, so there's no need to prove her wrong, which could make matters worse. If it's over the phone, my therapist shared how I can draw or color my emotions on paper during the call, make it funny if I want, and then after the difficult call, I can crumple and discard the piece of paper. Or concurrently do something I enjoy while she's going on, so it splits my attention and I'm not affected by her words. I also put my phone aside with the volume reduced when mom raises her voice. Hopefully, these would raise the bar on our communication rather than result in raised voices. I'd share more in my next video. Hi and welcome to day 84 of retiring and caring for my parents as an only child. My mom tends not to converse with but talk over me, which typically ends in her dominating our conversations and talking 99% of the time. Sometimes, somehow, mom might also say unkind things or our conversations might take a turn for the worse, especially when I hasten her to make her point. So here's what I'm doing about it to improve our communication and relationship. I'm trying to be more agreeable as it seems to put her in a better mood and more receptive of what I might want to share, but being agreeable doesn't mean agreeing to things I don't agree with, so I'm trying to give vague agreements to go along with her, like possibly, 可能, I see, instead of a yes. My social worker pointed out that mom's very isolated. She could tell that mom wanted social interaction. The first time she conducted a home visit, mom ended up talking to her and sharing her life stories for 2 hours, but she also had social anxiety. I love to be heard and listened to, and the same can be said for mom, which brings me to point 3. I'd let mom know I'd contact her at a specific time on certain days and keep to it, so she can look forward to chatting with me then rather than not know when I would contact her next. That might ease her anxiety and the need to share everything at one shot, which could also overwhelm me. Having a set time and duration allows me to be more present, knowing this time is dedicated to listening to mom. Finally, if we're in person and mom is riled up, my therapist suggested observing the environment or things around, say mom's t-shirt design, color of the surroundings, so I don't receive the impact of the hurtful words in full force. But what about communication via text? I'd share more in an upcoming video.